Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we're going to talk about Windows 10 Mobile again. And before we start with the 3 games I'm going to show you in this episode, I still have to say something pretty sad, more or less, because as it seems the Windows 10 Mobile Store isn't working anymore on this device. So my device shows just a blank page. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about if I use the store, and that's more or less cutting off from all the games we can play here. I still have a couple of them in the backlash, and there are a couple of them I can still show you, as well as the 3 I'm going to show you today. But it might be that in future we can't do Windows 10 Mobile content anymore, and we are going to switch over to selfish-as content on this channel fully. But that may be a couple of episodes later, or maybe it's just a bug and that, for instance, Microsoft is going to fix it again. I doubt it a little bit, but we will see. And just to show you what I'm talking about, if I go to the start menu here and go to my store icon here, everything seems normal. There was a little bit of a hiccup with searching for games and stuff like that anyway, but it worked still. Problem is now, as you can see, you can still search stuff, you can see stuff here, and you can work with it. Problem is, if I'm going to go to the entry, then it's going to be shown in a white space like this. And this is more or less, the end. You can't do much about that. Even so, I had an idea to try it out on my desktop, for instance, so just download the APKs at the desktop and bring them over here. But at desktop you can't search for mobile games anymore, and so the apps that would run there and are downloadable there couldn't run on my smartphone device, and so that's more or less what the channel is all about, right? Anyway, let's hope that it's just a bug or something, and it's going to be fixed in future release of the store, or in the back end of the store, more or less. But till now, we will have a limited amount of games I can still show you, because I have a couple of them in my lists here. And today we are going to have a look at the following 3, but I don't know how long we can still keep this on. Anyway, the games I will show you in this episode are called Evil Bugs. Then we are going to have a look at Hurry Up Buddy, and we are going to have a look at Zombie Highway Race and Kill. Those are the 3 games we're going to play today. I'm, as always, using a mouse like this one, a Bluetooth mouse. I'm going to use my keyboard, which is this one, a Bluetooth keyboard in this case. And of course, everything is done on this smartphone here. It's a Lumia 950 XL from 2015 now. It's really 10 years. 10 years of a smartphone use, that's pretty much a very long time for something like that. Still working more or less like it should be. Of course, there is limited software support and stuff like that, so that's a problem. But other than that, it still does what it should be. Pretty amazing, if you ask me. Anyway, we have a USB-C connector at the bottom here, and the USB-C connector at the bottom is connected to my display dock, which is standing at the side here, more or less standing. Here it is. It's more or less a USB-C hub, which is connected to the big screen here, and the big screen is going to show everything that is shown on the smartphone. In this case, this is a Continuum mode, and we have a special interface, specially programmed or specially designed for the desktop usage of this app. And because of that, we can easily use the mouse and other stuff here to just control this. And everything is calculated by the smartphone itself, which is a pretty interesting and nice concept still. And you can see it's more or less like a desktop. And this is more or less what Continuum is all about. If you want to know more about all this, please have a look at the corner up there. And other than that, let's start with the first game. The first game is going to be Evil Bugs. But before we can start with it, all of the games I'm going to play today are not for Continuum mode, so we will have to switch over to the mirror mode, because that's the other mode we can use here. To do that, just go to the buttons there, go to the device or the display settings more or less, and if you go down, there are extended options, and if you go in here, you can mirror everything on the screen to this one. So this is more or less a not desktop view, it's a smartphone view in this case. Okay, and other than that, I'm just going to use my mouse again. Go down here now, of course, because you can still use your mouse and stuff like that, even in the smartphone mode, it doesn't really matter. And now I can just go to my all apps list here and search for the different games I'm going to play. And in this case, we have Evil Bugs. There it already is. Evil Bugs is a small little game which is, I'm not even sure how to call it. It's some kind of a side scroller jump and run with a little bit of Flappy Bird or something added to it. It's really interesting. I really like the game itself, and it really does more or less what it should. And so we'll have a look at it. You are going to be this kind of guy. You already saw that. It's not on this screen, but on the other one. And I'm just, there he is. So some kind of what is it? Explorer or something in the jungle. And he has to run away from bugs, and he can kill bugs by firing his firearms on them. It's pretty interesting, pretty funny to play, and just let's have a look at that. I'm going to turn around to play this game, just to be able at least a little bit to show you what's going on here. And yeah, all you have to do is more or less click on the start button. If you do that, you can already see we have this kind of interface here. As you can see, you can use tap to jump and tap to shoot, and tap on one of the ones to shoot, or you, if you don't want to, just don't fire like that. You can fire at any kind of place you want to. Tap to zap bugs is more or less a power-up you're going to use, and reloading is of course reloading. It will automatically reload too, but if you want to, you can do it like this too. Just to let you know, there is no option here. As you can see, I can use my mouse in this case, and I can click on this to fire at something. Good thing is we can really do it like this, but the problem about this game in the end is, okay, we're now flying with this kind of skateboard. I'm not sure what that is all about, but it's pretty funny. Especially because you don't have to jump in this game. Even so, it's more or less jump and run. Anyway, what you can do here, as you can see, is of course firing around, and you can, for instance, jump to get more of the points, and of course to maybe stay alive if I'm not going down there. Anyway, the problem is that you can't really click at the same time at that point and at the one where you are firing at. And that's a little bit of a bummer. If you play it on your smartphone itself, that isn't a real problem, because of course if you do that, you have two fingers, you can do that, and I'm going to do that now. Remind me later, please. So let's play again, and as you can see, you can now jump and fire at the same time, which is of course what we really want to have here. And he is still running around. I really like the scenes and stuff like that, because which kind of nature scientist would run around with whatever that is even. So this is more or less a Flappy Bird part I already showed you or already told you about. Reason is you really have to tap a couple of times to stay up there. And if you don't want to stay up there, you can of course go down by just don't pressing at it. Interesting part about it, interesting part about it is then that you are going to slide down like in Flappy Bird more or less. And so you have a couple of different options to play here. As you can see, you should collect a couple of different points here. You can beat all the different targets you see here and just run around and try it out like that. I like the game a little bit. It's somehow fun. It's not too easy to play, especially if I'm talking at the same time. But it's not hard to play neither, so try it out. I think it's fun and you should just try it. Okay, so let's have a look at the second game today. Is Hurry Up Buddy. I'm just going to go out of this this menu then, or the other game of course, If you long click on this, it works on the smartphone itself as well as with your mouse. If you go on that, you can just click and get rid of other apps that are still running, stuff like that. So that is a good thing to do if you are playing games at least, because otherwise the performance will just go down, of course. So the second game is called Hurry Up Buddy. I'm just going to put it in. There we are. Hurry Up Buddy is something, strangely familiar, I would say. So if you play it a little bit, you will see what I'm talking about. As you can see, he is going to more or less try to escape the prison. I just died first time, doesn't matter. He's going to try to escape the prison, and he has a rocket pack or something. And there was another game which is pretty close to this one, but in the end it's at least otherwise themed, and it's a little bit different from what they're telling you and what kind of power-ups you have and stuff like that. So in the end, by just playing again, by holding the button, you are flying up, and by just leaving the button empty more or less, or not part, you can in the end fly over stuff. Problem about all this, just to let you know, be very careful with all the different things here. So in the end, of course, you would have to get all the different coins as much as you can, and there are a couple of different obstacles, as you can see, okay. And they are firing at you with different kinds of weapons. They have some kinds of obstacles which are going to be there and stuff like that. So let's just exit here for now and play again, just to show you. In the end, you're going to have power-ups going up and down all the time. As you can see, you can, for instance, burn the yourself too. There are power-ups which are coming in there after a while, and in the end it's all about how many meters you can more or less survive. And I'm very unable to survive very long. Okay, perfect. Let's try it again. Maybe I should concentrate on playing a little bit, otherwise I can't show you all the different features here, but whatever. We are going to just try it out. As you can see, there are different kinds of obstacles here, like handkerchiefs and stuff. Or not handkerchiefs, like those, what is it, chains? Whatever. Which are going to try to chain you down, of course. And there are a couple handcuffs. And there are a couple of different other things, like you already saw, because they're going to fire at you with bazookas, trying to hold you off from getting out of this. In the end, it's a side scroller, and it's an endless one, because you really have to try to get rid of the different kinds of things here. As you can see, I got that, and now I'm dead, whatever. But in the end, there are a couple of different things you can now activate, like this one, for instance. If you want to go on, just click on the icons you own, of course, and then you're going to go on like anywhere. Doesn't really matter. This is more or less all I can show you about this. We got away, and we got to 461 meters in this case, which is a little bit higher than the average, but not my highest score. And like that, you're trying to get faster and farther and farther. And I don't think there's a real end to this, so it's an endless scroller, but still you're trying to hunt for the biggest high score, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to go out here too, and we are going to have a look at the last game in this episode. The last game in this episode is Zombie Highway Race and Kill. It's exactly what you would suspect that to be. In the end, you're driving with a car, and the car has some kind of weaponry, and there's a zombie apocalypse going on, and you will have to try to avoid obstacles on the street, and zombies are going to attack you, and you will have to fight them off. And this is more or less what the game is all about. I think it's a nice little one. It has a little bit of 3D in there, so it's a 3D game in the end. I'm just going to put it in here. So Zombie B. And if I'm going to write it right, and as you can see there are a lot of them, but this one is the one we are going to play here, Zombie Highway, Waste and Kill. If I click on that and go in, you will see that this game is one of the games you should play with your smartphone, I think, because there are a couple of different things you will have to do at the same time, and that's always a bad idea with the mouse. You can use the mouse for that, but in this case it just doesn't make much sense. So as you can see, you have some kind of a car and you have a gun, and of course we are going to start, and you can now think about if you want to tilt the smartphone to go to different parts, or if you want to have the buttons. I prefer buttons for something like that. Also, it depends, because sometimes you really want to have the option to use the buttons only for firing. And as you can see, there is already firing going on because you are firing out of the different parts. And now to drive the car around and try to avoid the obstacles, just go like this. And after a while, if there is a zombie, whoa, okay, died. But if there's a zombie, you have to fire out on the right side of your car to get him off, and of course the other one, and try to go through the park here. I think this one is endless, maybe two, I'm not sure. At the start you always have to do this kind of, whatever you want to call that, tutorial. Is it a tutorial if it's really just two buttons showing up on the screen? I'm not sure. But anyway, as you can see, now we should get rid of him. Problem is that you really, you can even drive them over, for instance, and try to go to one of the sides to get rid of them. But problem about all this is it's very hard to die in this game. So try again. I really like it somehow. It's of course an easy game where you're just going to run around or drive around, and you can just more or less go like this. I'm going to empower our part here. Okay, that was pretty fine. Problem, now we will have to get rid of him by really driving very close to one of the parts here, which is very hard to do, and you can easily die with this. And he's telling us we only drove 25 meters. No, we didn't. Have a look at how large our car here is. We really drove a lot longer than that. Anyway, let's try it a little bit. Hopefully better than before, I'm not sure. Okay. We got a couple of guys now on our car. Okay, I got 61 meters, so I, for some kind of reason, got farther than before. Just try it out. It's hard to play if you ask me, but I really like the game concept because it's easy to play and it's fun somehow. So just try it out. It's all you against the scoreboard. In this case, there's nothing like any kind of other enemies or something showing up, as far as I know at least. You are really just going to fight against the zombies, which are going to fight you. You can see at the top there's some kind of a health bar, which is going to show you how long you can sustain against the zombies, because they are going to attack your cars from the sides. And of course you will have to try to get them off. But again, if you're driving not perfectly to the sides and you're just hitting one of the targets, you are more or less toast. So I would say try it out yourself. I really like it somehow, but it's hard to play in a couple of different ways. Anyway, so this is more or less the episode for now. I'm just going to go out here. This is the episode. I hope you had fun with this episode. I'm just going to get rid of all of them, doesn't really matter. I hope you had fun with this episode in this case. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, of course. If you didn't like it, the other button is there too. Other than that, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't or have any kind of comments, questions, whatever, put them down below in the commentary section. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and see you around in the next episode. Bye.